Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host GBHL Damian, and this is my hobby vlog number 52. Oh yes! Assuming this gets done, we've done 3 in a row. It's fast becoming a series. We're getting there hopefully. If you're the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that I look and the sofa looks suspiciously like the sign-off from Hobby Vlog 51, and that is because I recorded the sign-off from Hobby Vlog 51 somewhere in the region of 40 seconds ago. So I've gone straight into this. I said there was going to be a different kind of hobby vlog, and that's what this one is. So you're probably seeing these a week apart, but for me, tis mere seconds. So first off, Happy New Year. We're a few weeks in now, but hopefully you've got some shiny new goodies for Christmas, and you're excited. There's an awful lot of Dunland love going on at the moment, so pretty cool. I'm skipping Dunland for me. I'm quite relieved to have a faction that doesn't particularly take my interest and have to spend all that money and derail all your other projects essentially. But really cool looking stuff, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of those on the table this year at various events. Let us know in the comments what you got for Christmas, what you're excited to be working on in the new year. I'd really like to hear from you. And kind of strike up this community engagement again, even if it's only through these vlogs for the moment rather than the Palantir and stuff. But it'd be good to be chatting to you again. It's been really cool reviewing the comments of like Hobby Vlog 50, which I've done at the moment, and seeing like loads of really lovely comments from people who've been missing the channel and stuff, and like kind of usernames that I haven't kind of read or said out loud in a couple of years. It's been really cool, really good fun to get back onto that. So keep commenting. I'm back to at least a certain degree, I think. So Hobby Vlog 52. As I said in 51, it's going to be slightly different because beyond anything else, it's a minute since I showed you the silver Morannons. They're still right there in exactly the same state you just saw them, and so I have no progress to show you on that. But instead what I wanted this video to be was basically a review, a hobby review of 2019, and then looking forward to 2020. And what I've gone and done is I've gone through all my old photos over this year to kind of track what I've painted. I'm not going to get all those models on the table or anything because I actually don't have some of them with me at the moment, but I'll go through it to kind of show what I've achieved, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm also going to check this bad boy out. I don't know if that's reading yet. It's the Middle-earth Hobby Bingo. I've kind of completed as much as I could, and I will be going through kind of how I did on that. And kind of letting you know from there and using that as a kind of guide. And then what I am going to do is show you what I'm hoping to get done in 2020, because I'm in a fairly unusual position for me in that I think I know all of the forces I'm doing through 2020, and you're always going to get derailed to a certain degree, so it's not set in stone, but I know a fair bit of what I'm going to be doing, and more than that, it's actually a lot of it's assembled and cleaned up already. So I thought it'd be quite cool to kind of lay out everything on the table, and for me it's the 6th of January, and say this is the stuff I want to get painted this year, and then do another one of these videos at the end of the year where I say what did I do, and it turns out I got 2 of those models painted. I really don't know, but that's the kind of idea, to kind of set my stall out, and so you can see the sort of stuff you can be expecting to see from me. So I'm going to jump straight in. And we're going to do the hobby bingo and kind of review it. I think I could be wrong with this. I think me and Tom started this in the last Palantir we did back in like February 2019. I think, we can do this through the Palantir, and then we stopped recording the Palantir. So God knows what Tom's done. He hasn't done an awful lot of painting this year. I think he's got some stuff on the table now. I think he's been doing some Morannons over Christmas and stuff. Oh, we're both doing Morannons. Why could that be? But let's go through it and see what I did. So finish a good army of at least 600 points. I didn't do that. Incredibly frustratingly, I got really close because I did all hero grey company force for doubles. So I painted the new 3 hunters, the three hunters, the plastics, and Halberad. I just did a quick tally up, and that's about 500 points. So I'm about 100 points short, and it depends quite what finish means, but I think the idea of finish is kind of start and finish, isn't it? It's not like just add another model to an existing thing. So if it was just that, I could get it because I finished my Forge of Thorin's company, but given that I didn't paint all of them in the same year, I don't think that counts. So, didn't get that one. Paint a model for an army you don't currently play. I did do that. I did Halberad. I did Halberad, the made to order one with banner, so he's going to be my tick for that. Paint a new version of a model you already own. Absolutely, I'm giving that to Legolas. Legolas is my favourite hero. I love painting Legolas. I really enjoy painting Legolas, and I've got I'm up to 8 now. I think I've got finished, and so I actually painted. I think I painted about 3 Legolas last year, so plenty of those. Paint a monster or a siege engine. I did that in both. I've done the beyond anything else, the Mordor War Catapult, which contains a monster, and troll, and a siege engine. So I've got that. Enter a Middle Earth gaming event. Yeah, loads of them. Convert a model, a simple weapon or head swap will do. I've done a few conversions over the year, but the one I scribbled down here was my Bilbo for my bag end display. I got the barrel rider Bilbo. I chopped the barrel out from under him and I put him on an armchair. So it's that little scene, that lovely little scene in Unexpected Journey, where he's talking to Gandalf and sort of saying, "Can you promise that I will come back?" So I was really happy with how that came out. Paint a model and incorporate a technique you haven't mastered. I've ticked that, but I haven't wrote what the technique was. I think it was some form of wet blending I was doing. I tried a bit of wet blending for the first time, and it didn't work very well, so I definitely haven't mastered it. So I tick. Build and paint some objective markers. Didn't do that. Did it the previous year. Normally do end up doing that, but didn't actually manage to do that one, so I missed it. It's annoying because that one's quite easy. Watch the Hobbit trilogy, definitely. Finish an evil army of at least 600 points. I did that. That was my Morannon force. So I painted 700 points of Gothmog's Legion from scratch. So that was a big tick there. Paint a model and buy a model and paint it within 48 hours. I didn't do that, and that's one's annoyed me as well, because I had a bunch of ideas for that. I was either going to do the King of the Dead or I think Goroth or something like that, and I had a real. I was like, that's quite easy to do if you just get a single hero and just nail it. But being entirely honest, I didn't do it. Enter a model you've painted this year into a painting competition. I've done that because I normally enter. I've been to 3 Warhammer World events this year, and almost always try and enter a hero or a warband into one of the painting competitions. All of the finished models in your army are based. That's true. That's done. So that was a big tick. Recreate your favourite scene from the movies with a narrative scenario. Yeah, I did that. Amon is hands down my favourite part of the whole trilogy. I adore it. I think it's probably not. Is it a better battle sequence than Helm's Deep? I don't know. I think it's a better action sequence than Helm's Deep. I think it's wonderfully choreographed, particularly in the extended edition. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And we played it in a few months back when we went up for Adam's birthday, and a group of us, like Sam, Jeffrey, and Jay, and Keith, we all played it. And Mark Stoney was there. It was a really cracking day. Really enjoyed it, and we had a big multiplayer version where I think Adam and Keith were the Orcs, and then we split the fellowship between the rest of us so that everyone got a Hobbit. There was me, Stoney, Sam, and Jay, and everyone got a Hobbit, and everyone got a hero that they love. It worked out really well. It was really good fun, and so yeah, I think I definitely had Legolas because Legolas, but I think did I have Merry maybe? But it was really good fun. So really enjoyed that. Lots and lots of fun. Play all the match play scenarios at least once. I'm going to say yes to this. I actually done notes and scribbled. I can't think of a time I played Domination. I've identified playing every other scenario at least once. But I'm also missing a bunch of games because of my old man brain from tournaments and stuff. So maybe one of my New Year's resolution is in my little book that I take to events. I might write down the scenarios. But I love Domination. I play it a lot at home for casual games, and it's often picked at tournaments. So I can't imagine I haven't played it. It's not like one of the obscure ones. So I'm going to say that yes, I played all the match scenarios once. Finish a model that had been in your to-do pile for over a year. Tariel. My Finecast Tariel, the conversion one I did. I think I showed you in Hobby Vlog 50. That had been sitting there kind of assembled and waiting to be done for about 2 years, so definitely did that. Make a display board for one of your armies. Did that. I did 2 actually. Made a display board, quite a simple one for my GT force, which is the Wall of Minas Tirith. A kind of field in front of it for my Army of the Dead and Gothmog's Legion. And then, as I believe you may have known or may have seen elsewhere, I made a fairly elaborate bag end board for Throne of Skulls, which worked out very well. So yes, definitely did that. Read The Hobbit or any book from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes, I have done that. I saw a note somewhere when this came out and people started like asking FAQs about the bingo. They were like, does the audiobook count? And they said, yes, the audiobook counts. And if the audiobook counts, then definitely done it. But I've also read The Hobbit. I read it to Charlotte, actually. Build and paint the scenery kit. I didn't do that. I don't think I was particularly close to doing that. I suppose the Rohan house is an easy way in now, but I haven't done a lot of scenery, really, so I wasn't going to do that. Play a game against an opponent you've never faced before. Loads of them at tournaments. Watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes. Build and paint a new model for one of your armies. I'm giving that to my Palace Guard captain that I painted for issue 9 of SPG. I had an existing Mirkwood force and dug him out of the box and got him painted up. Play a game using an army you've never used before. I'm giving that one to my Grey Company, because my Grey Company can't be the good army of 600 points. But yeah, we doubles. I'd never played with Grey Company before. Never really played much with All Hero beyond the Fellowship and Thorin's Company, so that was quite cool, good fun. I think we managed to win. I think we won 4 out of 5, so they're a good little force, that Legendary Legion. Better than you'd think. Create cool scenic bases for one of your armies. I think I've got half of this. I made tiled bases for my bag end models. They're all on these kind of like red tile bases to match the tiles, but I had help from a friend called let's call him Pat Babies, who kind of actually helped with making the bases, and then basically I just painted them. So I did I create them? I don't know, I commissioned them, shall we say. I had them created, so maybe half a point for that. And finally, start a new army. Yes, I'm giving that to Dale. I have officially started my Dale force now. You're going to see it all. I was assembling it over Christmas. I'll show you it in a bit. So that is, I've started my new army, and that, I'm really hoping, if they do this again, I don't know if they'll update it, but if they keep it the same, is my Dale army going to get to 600 points? It's probably not, is it? Like Girion, a Wind Lance, must be about 150, a Captain 200, and then 20 guys. It's not going to be 600. So that's annoying. I'll have to try and figure out another way to get a good army in this year. So there we go. In total, I missed 3. No, I missed 4. I didn't do a good army 600 points. I didn't do objective markers. I didn't buy a model within 48 hours, and I didn't paint a scenery kit. Slightly annoying because they're all quite achievable ones, but it's been good fun. I really like doing this. It's been nice seeing everyone else's. And I will, if they do it again, I'll try that one again this year. But even if they don't, I think I might just print a new version of this and try that again, because it was a good laugh. It was good to kind of motivate yourselves. So yeah, if we ever track Tom down and get him on camera again, we'll have to see what he managed to get up to, but I don't think it'll be much. I do have, however, a list. He says, I haven't checked this, but yes, indeed, here it is. So, what I managed to get painted in 2019, this is my total mark. I did the Mordor War Catapult and the 3 crew. I did a plastic Mordor Troll. I did 23 Morannons. I did Gothmog on foot and Gothmog mounted. I did Gurrets. I did a Morannon Banner Bearer. I then did the plastic 3 Hunters Gimli. I did Finecast Tariel. I did the Forgewell Gloin, a Palace Guard Captain, the Hobbit plastic Legolas, which I adore now. Then the Forgewell Ori Dori Nori. The Finecast Prince of Mirkwood Legolas I did. And then I did the plastic 3 Hunters, Aragorn and Legolas to complete the set with Gimli. I did Halbarad. I then did the Forgewell Biffa Balin Bomber. I then did the new Defenders of Lake Town Tariel. I then painted the 5 Ring Bearers, by which I mean I glued them to the bases and textured their bases. I then painted the North Star young fire elementals that look suspiciously like some sisters from a Disney film you might know. We featured those in our advent calendar. They were really good fun to paint, actually. I then painted my Bilbo and Chair conversion. I then painted the new Forge World Bilbo. I then painted 2 Gandalfs, which were the awesome Finecast one with his hand on his hip, where he's clearly outside bag end, and the Finecast White Council one. I then did, as shown in Hobbyblog 50, I did the metal Frodo putting on the ring. I did the metal Gimli, I think it's the Heroes of the West Gimli, and I did the metal Defenders of Helm's Deep Legolas. So in total, my 2019 tally was 63 models. Now, I grant you, by most people's standards, that's not a lot, but I'm pretty happy with it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, there are, of those 63, 28 of them are heroes, and then 2 of those as well are monsters. So given that you normally spend more time on heroes, I'm actually really happy with that. The only warriors I really paint with my Morannons. So my kind of total painted collection hasn't changed. Sorry, it hasn't changed much, like 63 models. But the kind of quality of it, I guess has. Like, I've got a lot more, I think, really nicely painted models rather than just kind of chaff to fill up the back. And actually, looking ahead, as we will do next to this year, I think it's kind of going the other way this year. I'm planning on doing quite a lot of warriors this year, so that'll be nice to hopefully get the numbers up. But yeah, so 63 models. I'm pretty pleased. It was probably more than I thought I was going to do. Obviously, slightly annoyingly, my Army of the Dead, which I painted up in a couple of months for the last year's Strength Skulls, is just at the tail end of last year, like November, December. And that was another 40 odd models or something. So that I don't know what my numbers were last year because I wasn't really doing hobby vlogs, but that would probably been quite good. But yeah, so 63 models, and my hope is to beat that this year. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing in a minute now. So there we go. That was kind of my review of what I did last year. As I said, I'm going to move the camera now and show you what I'm planning this year. But I also have come up with a hobby pledge. I saw someone doing I think it was one of the fan site for Games Workshop forums or something. It wasn't a Middle Earth one. Someone saying that he was just not buying any models this year. And he was asking people to join him in this pledge, like, will you pledge to not buy anything? And I mean, I can't do that because I'm an addict, frankly. I'm not. I genuinely feel a bit icky about the idea of just saying no, I won't buy any. I've got more than enough models to paint for all my life, certainly, but I'm not going to go that far. But it did make me think I should try and do something quite sensible. And so my pledge is that I am only going to buy as many models as I paint this year. So anytime I buy a model, I need to paint a model for it. Now, that doesn't have to be in the same week, but it has to be totals, and I'm going to try and keep it roughly balanced. So maybe every month I have to look at it or something. Because there are some months, obviously, when stuff comes out, you get a lot of stuff out and real life stops you painting, but then other months where you paint a lot and you don't buy anything. So that is my pledge, that for the year, I'm going to paint more models than I buy. I should say that, and then that way, by the end of the year, my backlog will be smaller. Yes, my percentage will be smaller. And my other caveat on that is, if for whatever reason I'm not painting and I am buying too many and I can't keep up, I'm gonna sell other models. So I'm gonna, if I can't paint something, I will sell other unpainted models that have obviously been lying unloved in my collection for too long, and would be better off with someone else. So that's kind of my pledge, and then hopefully by the end of it, even if I do go and buy some new models, my unpainted models will be smaller, and my painted percentage will be higher. That's the kind of rationale behind it. And so what I've actually already done over Christmas is I've gone through my entire collection, all the dusty boxes full of models, and I basically identified anything at risk. And it wasn't a hugely deep cut. I'm not hugely worried, but I basically put aside a load of models that are like, right, so if they release something and I buy 20 models, these are the 20 models I would shift. These are the 20 models I would sell and try and move on. And some of them, there's part of me that's like, I don't really want to move them on. So my hope is that that's actually quite an incentive to get painting and stuff. So yeah, that's my kind of pledge. So if anyone wants to join me in this, by all means, kind of sign up or something in the comments below, and I'm gonna keep track of it basically over the course of the year. I'm going to keep a track of how many models I buy, how many models I paint, and how many models I sell. And hopefully the ones that I sell and paint will be higher, and I think will be significantly higher than the ones that I buy. So we'll have to see. The wonderful thing about the state of the game now is you just never know, because you don't know what's coming. I've dodged the Dunland bullet as I mentioned, but that will be a whole new army for many people. there's profiles aplenty. What have we actually got in here that I might be tempted to buy? Let's have a look. Is there not cheeky contents that make things easy? Armies, no, there's not. So if we scan through here to the army section, so we've got Aldor and Haleth that I don't have. I might pick them up when I'm at Warhammer World next. I'm not in a huge rush for those. Quick Beam and Beachbone. Well, I don't know if they came out. Maybe. Isengard Snagger I would probably get, and I won't get any of the Dunland ones. And that's it in War and Rohan. So even if I got potentially all of them, that's only 5 new models, and I don't particularly see me buying anything else. If there is a new AMR, everyone's talking about a new AMR. Would it be a forge-year-old AMR or a plastic AMR? I don't know, but he's got to be a contender for a new model. If there is a new AMR, I'll pick that up as well. So that'll be 2 more. And the big unknown, the huge unknown, really is made to order. Now we know that Middle Earth are doing these made to order runs. They're so tempting. I've gone big on the last 2. I've got a load of ruffians and a load of metal mortar orcs, and so you just never know. I'm kind of after some of those metal warg riders. If they come back for a made to order, I might pick up only like 6 of them or something. But you just never know with the made to order stuff. If that's going to be your only chance to get it, you kind of got to buy it then. And then my hope is that my new outlook will mean fair enough, I can buy that then, but I've got to sacrifice something else from my collection to replace that. And that's my kind of goal with it. So there we go. That's my hobby pledge. Anyone want to join me? If you do, let us know in the comments, and we can kind of support each other through this emotionally draining time, no doubt, and see how we get on. So there we go. So that is my hobby pledge for 2020. It's my review of 2019. And what I'm now going to do is take you downstairs to our big table and show you everything I hope to get done in 2020. I'll see you there. So here we go. Let's look at what we're going to try and get finished this year. So first off, I'm going to try and finish this ballista. This is an outstanding start. This is already done. Got this finished. You know, I thought this was going to be grey when I was filming this video. As it is, it's completely painted. So that's cool. That was an easy win. One thing I haven't really talked about on this video, but you will see coming up in another video before too long, is this little set. The King of the Dead and the Heralds. I'm also going to be trying to get those done. I need these finished by the same time that I need the Morannons finished. And they're awesome new plastic models. We're all pretty familiar with them. I'm very excited about them. It was great to get some Herald models and this stunning new King of the Dead model. But I'll be trying to knock them out fairly quickly. They're actually kind of happening in a separate video concurrently to this, and that'll all make sense fairly soon, or perhaps even before you see this. I don't know yet. But yeah, we're going to try and get those done nice and quick. I'm hoping for some really quick and easy paint jobs on those. Then the Morannons that you've already seen quite a lot of. So not in this video. I'll get so confused. I'm recording clips for a few different videos today. But here are the Morannons that I think you would have seen about a week ago, maybe in Hobby Vlog 51. Assuming that this is Hobby Vlog 52 and I haven't got confused. And the Commanders, the generic Morannon Commanders. And then here we've got the named ones with Gothmog's Enforcer, Zagdish and Gorath. My hope is that by the time you see this, these guys are actually a fair bit along the way of on the way to being painted, but I'll have to see. Next up, some more of the heroes that you saw last week, which is Daewine will be being painted, foot and mounted, and Gandalf foot and mounted. And that is kind of, this bit here is the end of almost what I call the first phase of the year. That's the stuff I need to get painted basically by the start of March. For the GT and for something else. So all that stuff needs to be done. And basically, if it isn't done, in the cruel way that often happens with a hobby, anything here that doesn't get painted by the end of March, by the start of March, sorry, will probably be dumped straight into a box to never be seen again. So you know, these guys are going to be painted either now or never. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be now. So it's the 6th of January as I'm recording this. And it is, what have we got? So we basically got about 2 months. I think I can get this lot done in 2 months. I'm also, I should point out, I don't actually have it here, but Dernhelm is in this list as well. I also want to get Dernhelm done around the time I'm doing these. So that's actually another 3 models. So that would be my ultimate success story, is if I can get all of this stuff and Dernhelm painted by the start of March, I'll be a very happy bunny indeed. And then things become mildly more complicated. So I'm going to slide over here. Let's get these guys out of the way a bit. And I'm going to go to this set of projects. What we have here is a set of metal orcs. These are the metal mortar orcs that were recently re-released as made to order. Can we do it with one hand? Do we have the technology? We can indeed. So I'm sure a lot of you guys picked these up, but they're really, really stunning classic sculpts. The old, full, absolutely jam-packed with character. And this is nearly one box of them. It's one box of them that's been enhanced. I've picked out the ones I need, so you can see there's some bowmen in here. But what I've basically got in here, I think it's 21 of these metal orcs. And I've also dug through my collection and found some command figures. So I have a captain, a classic orc captain model. I've got a banner bearer. Yeah. And somewhere in here should be quite easy to spot now. So a shaman. I've got the metal orc shaman. They're all metals. It very much feels like going back in time a bit. Can you prop there? There we go. Looking at these guys, but they're very, very cool models. I hate cleaning up metal models, so I'm really, really not looking forward to this. But it's a kind of cool. It's a really, really lovely thing. I didn't think I was ever going to get these metal orcs, so that made to order absolutely sorted me out. And this is exactly the sort of thing I was talking about when I was making my hobby pledge in the last clip, where it's all well and good saying this is all I'm going to paint, but then when these came out, what did I end up buying? I think I already had 6 of the bowmen from years ago, but I ended up buying 2 of these boxes. That's 28 models, and then 2 more sets of the archers. So I think I bought 36 orcs. It just completely tips your backlog over the edge. But these guys are actually going to be painted up for a project, a tentative project. It's not yet decided necessarily, but hopefully for July. And so if we're saying that these are being painted in March, that then means I've got the best part of sort of 4 months to get these painted, which is very, very achievable. But I think I will start on these guys as soon as this is finished to try and kind of get ahead of the curve. Bear in mind, for my GT force over here, I'm also planning on making a display board. So that'll be some more hobby time. God knows when I'm going to do that. And in this case as well, there'll be a display board to go in these for the particular event they're going to. And it's not just the orcs that are being needed for that project. It is also this little lady who I've been wanting to paint for years. Do we know what it is yet? It's down. This is, of course, this is probably the most recognisable bit, Shelob. I've had the metal Shelob model for years, and I've wanted to paint it just as a kind of collector's piece, really, because it's such an iconic part of Middle Earth. I just never got around to it, and now I have a reason, and she's going to be going with these orcs on tour somewhere. We also have the 2 parts. It's not very exciting to see at the moment. We get these 2 parts of her body. That kind of makes the big bulbous end. And here's just a whole pile of legs and pincers. This has actually been sitting in my next kind of optimistic this year box for quite a few years now. So I've wanted to do it, and I finally got a really good reason to do it this year. You also get the Sam model, who I will try and paint up at the same time, holding the Fire Galadriel and Sting, which is kind of cool. And you get the Frodo in Web, which is very, very cool. I might even try and paint up a different Frodo as well. So we've got a kind of Frodo. I'm thinking of doing like a Frodo and Gollum to kind of go with this set. Almost pick a Frodo that looks like he does as he's kind of fighting Shelob and that sort of thing. So these are all going to be done, and that's a kind of self-contained force that needs to be finished for July. Now my hope is that, as I said, I can do this after that and get it all finished. But there's a bit of flexibility there, and I kind of thinking that in the next 2 months something else might come up that I just want to paint for the fun of it or something. But this is going to be around that point there. So there we go. Hopefully I'll be getting a jump on that project in sort of March, April time and get it done, and it won't be stressing me out by the time the event rolls around, but who knows. The alternative to that is this little set of stuff. So this is kind of a return to a few other bits. So you've seen these guys on film quite a lot. They were in my Hobby Vlog 49 and they were in my Hobby Vlog 50. These are 4 converted Gundabad orcs. I've got a great Azog's Legion army that I'm really happy with. I converted these 4 individual orcs out, so they're all converted between the spears and the swords. They all look unique. I did them ages ago, and it just requires a little bit of time to sit down and paint them. And I want to do that. It'll take me a week, a couple of evenings work. Just put aside a week's worth of hobby and just get these guys done and boost my numbers a bit. But I've kind of found a little thematic grouping, which is also with this chap. I don't know how well you can tell in there. There he is. But he is this Legolas. A Defender's a Lake Town Legolas. And as I've said in, I think I've said it in this video actually, it doesn't take a lot to get me to paint a Legolas. I've already done this Tariel, and so I'm keen to do it. And I've got an idea for conversion. So whilst he's in there and all the pieces are in there, there's something in there that I need. There's something that I need that isn't in there, but it's kind of themed around this, this kind of little Mirkwood, Dol Guldur-y section essentially. So I'm going to try and get him done for that. And the final bit of this, which is completely unexpected, are these guys. Recognise these? Castellans of Dol Guldur, 2 packs of Castellans of Dol Guldur. And the reason these are here is because these are from my Secret Santa. So if you're not familiar with it, every year Sebastian Rutz on the GBHL organises Secret Santa. It's a completely thankless task. He's a hero for doing it, and he brings Christmas joy to hobbyists all around the world. I think there was about 70 or 80 people signed up for it this year. Absolutely brilliant idea. You basically sign up. You sign up for a kind of tier to give you some of how much you're willing to spend, and then you get accepted someone's name and you get to send them a bit of Christmas hobbity joy. And I got a great package this year. I got 2 sets of Castellans of Dol Guldur. I got the Keeper of the Dungeons, some lovely kind of elven calligraphy, and a bunch of the obligatory Frodos. What's super cool about these is I don't have them. I think I put down Gundabad and Mordor as my kind of shopping list, I guess, for the Secret Santa. And I've got most of the stuff, so I was just hoping for some reinforcements, but I don't actually have any Castellans. And they weren't in any way on my shopping list, but this is the sort of cool thing about a hobby where suddenly these models that I didn't really want in any way have suddenly appeared, and it's like, oh, that's cool. And I'll paint them up and kind of complete that part of my little Dol Guldur force. So I want to get these done relatively soon as a kind of thank you to my Secret Santa, essentially. And it seems to fit in nicely with this little Dol Guldur Mirkwood breakaway section from the rest of the year. Now my only wonder and worry is maybe this stuff here will be before this. I'll have to wait and see. Kind of come March and April time, I'll have to see what I'm really what I fancy painting, because this is altogether quicker to do than this. So part of me thinks I might go, oh well, you know what? I could knock out kind of 1, 2, 3 different little projects in the time it'd take me to slog through all these metal orcs. But then equally, there's the part of me that thinks, well, finish all the orcs first and then do the little projects, because these are more important. These are all for me. There's no plans for events for these. These are just for fun. And the sensible thing is to do these and get the display board done. But I really don't know. But these will all be happening roughly around the same time of year, in sometime in the middle of the year. And then the final project I turn to is a little alliance between 2 forces. Let's start with half of it. And it's these guys. I have 12 Grimhammers. I think I showed you these maybe in Hobby Log 50, but these were assembled Christmas 2018, ready to be painted first thing in 2019, and then they just got benched, and they've been benched for about another 6 months as well. So these guys, crazy hobby we all have, isn't it? These are assembled to be painted as the next thing, and will actually hopefully finally end up being painted 18 months after that. So I have 12 Grimhammers, which will complete my army of Thor Force, and I also have this Captain of Erebor, who will be painted along the same point. And this is for another event coming up later in the year. I'm planning on taking these for. And whilst they're not technically related, I've put these 2 in. You might remember these from Hobby Log 50. They survived in the draw. They are Feely, Champion of Erebor, and Keely, Champion of Erebor. They are the 2 Champions of Erebor who I haven't painted yet and survived the cull of the upcoming project draw. And so I think that kind of it fits thematically that I paint them at the same time, even if they're not part of the same force, to kind of do a bit of a dwarven focus. I would expect to see these getting the brush sometime around August, September or something. That would be my hope. Shouldn't be too long. I'd say this is about the rate I normally go, probably about 3 weeks work here with 3 different heroes and a bunch of warriors or something like that. Maybe set aside a month to do those guys in total. But yeah, a little kind of dwarf project, and that'll be my Army of Thrall Force completely finished. So I think once that's done, I'll probably do some form of army showcase of that, which would be quite cool. And then finally, the last thing I'll be doing this year, you can guess what it is? Dale, my long delayed Dale project. All these guys who are primed white, it's just 10 Dale warriors were assembled and primed exactly the same time as these. That was Christmas 2018, ready to be painted about a year ago, and they just never got done. And these guys, as I showed you in a previous hobby vlog, were assembled Christmas 2019. So there's a weird symmetry of assembling these two boxes of warriors a year apart, but they're still not going to be painted anytime soon. These are going to be done towards the end of the year. I also have a Captain of Dale here, and I have Girion with his Wind Lance, which should all be done as well. And so this is part of a kind of the final project of the year, which will kind of all culminate in something quite cool, hopefully. So yeah, these guys, I imagine, I don't know, I'd like to think I'd start painting them in October time, because it's probably, I've heard a lot of people saying, let's try and grab one, that they take an awfully long time to paint for warriors. There's loads of detail on it. And because I'm only doing 20, it's not like I'm painting a horde army up. I am willing to spend quite a lot of time on these and try and make them look really, really good. But you can see there's an awful lot of kind of different trims on those cloaks and kind of little lovely little details and tassels, which will be quite annoying to paint up on warriors. But I want my Dale Force to look good. I really like Dale. I've wanted to do a Dale army for ages. And it's good to finally have it properly locked in the schedule. But yeah, so I don't know. That's probably the best part of 2 months' work, maybe for me, at the rate I paint or something. Because I'll probably do them in little blocks of I'll probably split into 3, so I have 6 or 7s or something, 3 blocks of them, and then the heroes and that sort of stuff. So we'll see how we get on with that. But yeah, that's the little Dale contingent ready to go, which will join these guys. They're historical allies, obviously. And that, my friends, is the plan. Let's see, can we get the lot in? It's not quite. So that is my hopes for 2019. They're basically 3 projects. We have these guys over here that have to be done by kind of March, which are towards the grand tournament. We have these guys here, which have to be done by July. We have these guys for fun that can be done at any point, and we have these guys for kind of the end of the year. And I've counted up, and I think I got it right. I think there's 93 models here. So if I get everything here painted and done, which seems absolutely impossible looking at it right now, it will represent a kind of 50% increase over my productivity from last year, where, as I said earlier, I got 63 models done. So I'll take that. I'd absolutely take that. I'd be very happy with it. It's also worth saying that we plan on doing 2 issues of the magazine, and I'm planning on making 3 display boards in total this year. So there's a lot of other hobby that will come from that, and there's bound to be some new releases that will distract me and all that. But yeah, I've got, based on the amount I've painted for the last couple of years, I've got no good reason whatsoever to think that I'll be able to get all this lot done. It just doesn't make any sense. But for some reason, I'm bizarrely optimistic about it. So I'd like to think I'll somehow manage to kind of carve out enough hobby time to get all these bits and pieces done over the next sort of 12 months. So there we go. I'm going to go back to the sofa now and kind of sign off on this, but the hope is that this time next year I'll be able to put all of these models onto this table and they will all be completely painted. Whether or not I do, we'll have to wait and see. I'll see you then. So there we go. That's a lot of models. We've got some Morannons, we've got some heroes, we've got some Metal Mordor Orcs, we've got some Dale Warriors, we've got some Erebor, awful lot in there, and comfortably more than 63 models. So if I do get all that done, I will have smashed my target from 2019, which would be cool. If I manage to get that done and stick to my hobby pledge, all the better, and then I'll have something like, maybe, who knows, 20 new models and 60 new models painted for a net gain of kind of 40 painted models, which would be cool. You'll have to wait and see. But I think it's going to be quite fun tracking it, and I hope to do another video exactly like this time next year, where we kind of look back on all that and say, God, I managed to do that. I'm well aware real life will happen. Me and Tom are still planning on doing 2 issues of the magazine this year. You know, some of this stuff is being painted for future issues of the magazine. It won't surprise you to learn. And then that normally kills my hobby time for about 2 months. It normally takes out about 2 months per issue. But I feel oddly positive. I don't know quite why. I feel I'm in quite a good place hobby, like trying to find a bit of time every night to do something in a way that I haven't in the past. So my hope is if I can keep that going, I feel pretty good about actually being able to do that terrifying mountain of models down there. It's not a lot by many people's standards, but by mine, if you ask me right now, those are the only models you paint this year, you won't paint any more, I would sign up and bite your hand off for that. And so we'll see. But wish me luck on it, and we'll see how I get on. So there we go. That's the stuff that you can look forward to seeing painted over the next year from me, along with all the super secret surprises that are bound to come out. You know, as I said, if a new AMA drops, he'll get in there. Who knows what the next supplement will be? They've announced some sort of what they call it, a match play guide, a tournament play guide, or something like that. They've announced that, but I don't think that's necessarily going to have any models. So whatever the next supplement is in, I don't know, March, April, May, June, July, whenever that comes out, there'll be models there which might completely derail this. Imagine us to release 20 new Tariels, that'll ruin everything really, won't it? But yeah, well, you know, allowing for super secret surprises like that, that's the stuff that I hope to get done. I think that's everything. My hobby, this is hobby vlog 52, he says, when he's in the middle of recording 5 different videos. My hobby vlog 53 will hopefully be back. I'm really hopeful in kind of about 2 weeks maybe, which will hopefully show those completed Morannons. But as of right now, they're still prime silver, so I just don't know. But there will be some content coming up soon. Hopefully we can kind of follow that progress. Until then, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit host by clicking the links below. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, if anything. Support your Hobbit host, support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.